Hi everybody, this is Boog S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Grey Gargoyle figure. So before we take a look at the Grey Gargoyle, let's take a look at the only accessory that he comes with. Well, it's not really an accessory, it's just a Build-A-Figure piece. The Kree Sentry head. So there you go. Like I said, I do think that the metallic look to it looks really nice. I don't know, the size is not accurate. I don't like the size of the Build-A-Figure. I mean, of course it should be a lot bigger, but of course Hasbro's not going to do that for us. So now let's go ahead and just hop straight on into this review. So, looking at the head sculpt of this figure, I think it looks really nice. I feel like it looks a bit translucent. This whole figure has a slight texturing to him because he's supposed to look like stone. So Hasbro used these flecks that they mixed in with the paint. It's either mixed in with the plastic or mixed in with the paint because you can really feel it. Especially right here on his legs, you can really feel it. I think it looks really nice the way Hasbro did it, though. It looks really different. It stands out from the rest of the Marvel Legends. And there's really no paint to him, I mean, other than his forearms right here. But I feel like the head is translucent. Let me pop it off. Like it kind of looks translucent, like they painted over it. I don't know, maybe it's just because he's super glossy. Like you can see on the inside of the head right there where it's really glossy. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's so glossy. But the head sculpt looks pretty nice. You can see that the mask right here did miss its mark by a little bit. It doesn't have all the paint right there. And his eyes, the eye kind of drooped right there. You can see the white right there. And the black went up into the eye right there. Now the teeth are painted and sculpted pretty nicely. With like Thanos and what other figure was it? Apocalypse. The teeth were kind of sculpted and kind of painted on, but it wasn't perfect. I'm not saying this is perfect, but I do think the teeth look better than those two. And the hair's painted, it kind of looks silver to me. It might just be like a silverish gray. Or maybe it's just a dark gray that they did like a really thin layer over the head sculpt here. I don't know. It still kind of looks silver to me. But then right there, you can really see the gray of his skin showing through right there. That's why I think it's just like a thin layer. Plus you can see some specks right there. So I think they just painted over that, but not really good since there's a big place right there where you can see his skin shining through. And now his cape, it has a lot of texturing to it. I don't know if the camera's picking up all the cracks sculpted into his cape. It's really textured. And you can see all the cracks right there. Looks really good. But now with this cape, it does hinder his articulation because the straps go underneath his arms. And his arms are already stiff to begin with. Even boiling the figure didn't help. So, you know, that's going to restrict his articulation even more. Now, one thing I did want to mention. Oops. I always just about knock my camera over when I do this. Here is Grim Reaper. And they do share the same body mold. I think this is Captain America's hand. And I think this is Brother Voodoo's hand. If I'm not mistaken. I think it's been used for some other characters, but it's not coming to mind right now. But this is the Grim Reaper body mold. And I think the feet are new. I'm pretty sure the feet are new. Because I don't remember seeing these feet anywhere. But they look really cool. I feel like this would have went a lot better on Venom. Like, the new Venom is really good. But, you know, it was just a repaint with the symbiote attachment. I feel like they should have given him these feet just to make him just a little bit more different. I don't know. I feel like a lot of customizers will probably use these feet for Venom. In the comics, this always reminded me of Black Panther. The way his gloves were. Like, this looks exactly like classic Black Panther's gloves. How they were blue and had the stripes down. And that still reminds me of it. The feet not so much because you can see the toes. His sharp pointy toes. But I don't know. I'm not sure why the gloves and the boots right there always look like Black Panthers. So now let's go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look all the way back, but then you get it like it's really gapped right there. Like most of the Marvel Legends heads are pretty filled in right there, so you don't see that. But if you get him looking up, you're going to see that entire ball peg. You're going to see the inside of the head sculpt. So if you get him looking up, I don't know, try to kind of keep it like that. Because if you put it up, you're going to see everything under there. He can move his head all the way down. He can move his head side to side. Now here's where the articulation is pretty tough. He can only move his arms out that far. And he can only move them up that far. Hold on. And he can't move them back that far. Now his swivel bicep only moves that much because of this piece right here, this strap. Only moves that much. He has double jointed elbows, swivel thrust that can move side to side and up and down, and ab crunch that can move back all the way and down all the way. And I did forget to mention that this cape is pegged in his back, but it does tend to come out very easily, especially if you're moving the figure around. Plus, it doesn't go in all the way, so it's always kind of out like that. He has swivel at the waist that can move side to side. He has ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. Now, his hips, they do move kind of freely. They are just a little bit loose. You can see them just jiggling there. He has did I say he has ball-jointed hips already? I think I did. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back just a little bit. He has swivel at the thigh that it's really tight, as you can hear. It's the same one as left leg, if not just a little bit worse. It doesn't make as much of a sound, but it's still pretty tough. This one probably makes more of a noise because I was trying to force it to move. I know you're not supposed to force it to move, but, you know, it didn't feel like it was going to break. I suppose that's not to say that it couldn't break, but, you know. He has double jointed knees that... there. He has double jointed knees that are a nightmare to move. He has swiveled the shin that swivels really freely. You know, that's good at least. He has swiveled the ankle to move up and down. And he has an ankle rocker. So overall, I think the articulation is pretty bad on him. Like, yeah, it's... especially with the cape. And the joints, they are just so stuck. And even after boiling it still doesn't help. It's like the plastic just reset to the way that it was. I don't know, it's just really infuriating. So now let's do some size comparisons here. So he's kind of a Marvel character that's, you know, I thought he was a street level villain at first, but then I got to reading some more stories. And he's fought a lot of heroes. I think the only characters he hasn't fought is the X-Men. And maybe he's even fought them. Maybe that's just something I didn't see when I was looking stuff up online about him. Because I'm going to be honest, he is not my favorite character. This isn't even my favorite toy, you know. But let's do some size comparisons. So here he is. Oops. Here he is next to Captain America. Let me get him standing back up there. Get him looking straight forward. So here he is next to Captain America. And you can see that they share the same body mold. That's the Grim Reaper body mold. So there he is next to Captain America. Here he is next to Mr. Fantastic. Now, the only comic, I had two comics with him in it. One was a Spider-Man comic, and the second was a Fantastic Four comic. So here he is next to Mr. Fantastic. And Mr. Fantastic is just leaning on his hand right there because he's horrible at standing up. And now I had to dig out some old school characters for these next two comparisons. So here he is next to the Toy Biz Thor. And man, I wish Hasbro would give us a classic Thor. That's something we really need. Like classic Thor, classic Iron Man, and classic Hulk. You know. Or just a good Hulk. I mean, Hasbro really hasn't made a good Hulk figure. But here he is next to Thor. And I still love this figure. This figure is still really, really awesome. I know he doesn't hold up, but to me he does just because, you know, I have good memories of it. And here he is next to the Toy Biz Classic Iron Man. And Hasbro did give us one of these, but I don't have it. Plus, it had some bad articulation, like it didn't have ankle rockers. So I could see Hasbro pulling an Ares and just re-releasing him with a little bit of tweaked articulation. I would really like that. So there he is next to the Toy Biz Iron Man. So overall, I'm not really a fan of this figure. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the character in general, and the articulation is just horrible on this guy, and the cape hinders his articulation a lot. So what I'm going to say is, if you're a fan of the character or just want to complete the Build-A-Figure, I'd recommend picking it up. But if you're not a fan of this character and you don't want this figure, I wouldn't recommend picking it up. Because like I said, the joints are just really stiff and the articulation is horrible on him. Even though the Grim Reaper body mold has like pretty fluid articulation, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just because of the stuff they mixed in with the plastic. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this figure personally. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.